Japanese monster in Roblox. We never watched this one. Maybe you did.
Monsters that originated from old Japanese folklore that would
This shit is fucking scary.
actually inspire popular Roblox games, like for example Teke Teke. Now the story of Teke Teke is that she was once a schoolgirl that fell on the railway line in northern Japan when all of a sudden a train would go by and slice her in half, except she didn't die, at least not right away. No, she was actually alive, just in great pain and would be calling for help, but due to the neglect of the staff, she would actually end up dying, but then would return as a vengeful spirit to exact her revenge. Yeah, so you can see with the Teke Teke, she's missing the lower half of her body. She's still able to actually walk with her hands and elbows, but in the process of doing that, she is scratching and scraping them, making a Teke Teke-like sound, which is that sound that you're hearing right now, hence her name. Yeah, she's typically found at nighttime near the train stations, where she'll chase after her victims and would then cut them in half, often with a scythe that she has, the Tenomi. So Tenomi in Japanese literally means hand eyes, and now this monstrous entity is typically an elderly blind man with eyes on the palm of his hands. So the Tenomi you've probably seen in the Roblox game The Mimic. In Japanese folklore, however, they often wander through the open fields or graveyards at night hunting humans. Though they may not have good vision, you know, with them all being blind from their face and all, they
Fuck no.
do have a powerful sense of smell, which allows them to chase their victim. Now, the story of the Tenomi is believed to be about a vengeful ghost of a blind man who was robbed and murdered. Like, this one man was actually attacked by a Tenomi spirit, where he then flees off to an inn for shelter. He would later tell the innkeeper what he saw, and the innkeeper talks about how a few days ago, a blind man was attacked and robbed out in the field, and as the man laid there dying, he cried out with his last breath, "If only I could have had once glanced at their faces, if I only had eyes that worked, even if only on the palm of my hands." And because of this, he was reborn as the yokai with eyes on the palm of his hands, now going after wanderers in the fields and graveyards. Roku Rokobi. So these are one of my favorite yokai creatures. They've been getting more and more popular all over Roblox, you know, with the whole roadside sushi and the Mimic. Yeah, this is the creature from the Mimic. I believe her name is Megumi. Yeah, she just has a really long neck and goes after you. It's very disturbing, not gonna lie. But now, what are the legends of a Roku Rokobi? And what exactly are they? Well, by day they seem like an ordinary woman, but by night, that's when their bodies go to sleep, but then the necks will stretch out to an
No, don't get me wrong. This fucking scene in black and white is fucking scary.
insane lengths and roam around
It looked like a fucking rig or fucking grayscale on the process of creating a video game. So
freely. From here, they'll be able to attack small animals and scare nearby people. And also sometimes they would lick lamp oils. Yeah, no, I'm not kidding. That's literally what it says right here. Diet regular food by day, lamp oil by night. Yeah, there's even a tale that describes a Roku Rokobi village in which all the residents would wear scarves to cover a line around their necks, you know, to not reveal that they were actually Roku Rokobis this entire time. Now, nobody actually knows how someone turns into a Roku Rokobi, but it is believed to be a curse or punishment that only affects women. Now, luckily in the Japanese folklore, they're quite nice. Not so sure about the Roblox games, but there is another variant of them called the Nukekubi, which they're quite similar, but their diet this time includes blood. Another thing about the Nukekubi is that they don't actually have long necks. Instead, they're able to detach their head from their body completely, and then they're also pretty much like vampires, where they'll suck the blood of their victims, which is both humans and animals. So these are the more dangerous ones. The Kuchisake Ona. So this is another famous Japanese yokai that's appeared in the Mimic and even some other popular Roblox games. Yet it'll be this woman here with a very wide mouth. Now, she is a cool looking yokai, but the story of the Kuchisake Ona is that she's a ghost of a woman who was once killed and has come back to exact her revenge. Yet she'll pretty much sneak up to her victims in the dark and ask them if they think she's beautiful. Now, at this point, she typically has her mouth covered either with a mask, a cloaked hood, or it's just very dark. She asks them this question, and if the victim answers yes, she'll pull off her cloak or mask and reveal a large gash in her face. And she asks again if they still find her beautiful. And now if the victims answer no or scream in horror, that's when she'll attack them, often with a pair of scissors to give a similar gash on their face. But if the person replies with yes that they still find her beautiful, then she'll walk away, and then follow them home and end up killing them anyways later that night. Yet, so she's believed to be up to 8 feet tall, have long straight black hair, white hands, pale skin, and and otherwise being considered beautiful except for the gash in her mouth, which is more than likely how she originally died. The Red Room Curse. So this is a more modern Japanese creepy story, which yes can also be found on Roblox, though some games can't be played anymore. But yeah, the legend goes is one day you'd be exploring the internet when suddenly a red pop-up ad would appear, and it'll be asking, do you like? And now if you close it, it'll come back again and it'll say, do you like the Red Room? If you keep closing it, it'll just keep popping up again no matter how many times you do it. But then after some time, the screen will turn red and a list of Red Room victims will appear. Then the person who's on the computer reading this whole list will feel a mysterious presence behind them, after which they'll lose consciousness and would later be found dead in their homes with the walls of room painted with blood. Yet this whole Red Room curse got popular from a late 1990s Japanese flash horror animation where it pretty much talked about this whole mytho. Yeah, it told the story of a young boy who was cursed and died after seeing the pop-up. And I guess from there it just started trending. If you know the game Forsaken, the killer Noli actually has a skin based off of the Red Room curse. This is it right here. You can see his arm is a keyboard and in his hand he's got the mouse cursor. It's a pretty cool skin, honestly. Kappa. So Kappas are these reptilian humanoids who live near rivers and streams in Japan. They're kind of the size of a human child, but they're also known to be physically stronger than a grown man. They're also good swimmers. But something you'll notice about Kappas is the disc-like sunken skull they have on their head. Now, this dish must always be filled with water because if the water is ever spilled or the dish dries up, the Kappa will be unable to move and could possibly just die out completely. And now, as cute and harmless as these Kappas may seem, they're actually quite dangerous. Yeah, they're actually
This shit is cute. No, it's not cute.
known to drown people.
You, just you, building your app on base 44. Describe it.
Fuck this shit.
Also targeting horses and cattle, dragging them into the water. Yeah, like in Grow a Garden, they made the Kappas look like a cute, innocent looking pet and everything. But if you read its description, it says it has a chance to replace wet mutations already on fruit with bloodlet mutation. Yeah, this cute little thing really likes blood. Also, a while back, Roblox made this Kappa head that's honestly kind of creepy. You can see the water on its head right there. Again, the water is needed for them to survive. Yeah, they also like eating human butt. Umibozu. So this is another one of my favorite Japanese yokais just because of how terrifying they look. Yeah, an umibozu typically appears in the ocean during nighttime when everything's all calm. That is, of course, until they appear. Because when they come in, that's when lightning will strike, storms will start brewing up, and waves would move all over the place. The whole goal is to destroy ships and even drown its victims. Now, the true form of an umibozu is currently unknown. They're only ever seen from the shoulders up, but they do appear to have a humanoid appearance. Now, many people believe that umibozus are said to be spirits of drowned priests that were cast into the sea by angry villagers, and so these drowned priests have come back to exact revenge. Yet their name umibozu actually translates to sea monk. Yeah, the umibozu has actually appeared in the Mimic, where again it's like this large creature that appears in the water. There's also a couple of umibozu type games on Roblox in which this creepy guy appears. Now, there is a strange way to escape them. They'll typically demand a barrel from the crew of the ship, in which they'll use the barrel to scoop up water and pour it onto the ship to drown them. But if you give the umibozu a barrel with the bottom removed, then the scooping will not be able to pick up the water and confuse the umibozu, and that's when the ship will be able to escape. Butakuchi Onna. Now, these yokais are said to look like ordinary women, but then hidden behind their hair, in the back of their head, is a second mouth. And not only that, the Futakuchi Onna are able to use their long strands of hair like tentacles to be able to pick up and eat any food it can find. But I guess in Roblox they decided to make it even creepier and also eat humans. Now, there's multiple different stories of the origin of this yokai. There's one where the woman would not want to eat and starves herself, which would then cause another mouth to appear as a curse and force her to eat twice as much. But then there's another origin story in which a mother lets her stepchild die of starvation, and then that child's spirit would lodge itself into the back of the stepmother's head and now demands to eat a lot. Now, in the Japanese folklore, I don't believe for them to actually be dangerous towards humans or anything like that. I think they're just really hungry. The Akamanto. So this is a strange Japanese urban legend, and it's strange because it's related to toilets, specifically toilets in elementary schools. Now, the way this legend goes is in every elementary school, there's one
So if you play the Mimic, the first chapter of the book 1, you go to elementary school.
toilet that's known to be cursed, either because it's very old, creepy looking, or it's the fourth stall in the bathroom. Yeah, in case you didn't know, the number 4 in Japan is associated with death, which is why a lot of hotels often don't include a 4th floor in Japan. Anyways, the story goes is that at school, when it's evening, if a student is desperate enough to go to the cursed toilet, then when they do their business, they'll reach for the toilet paper, but then realize there's no toilet paper. But that's when they'll hear a strange voice. Do you want red paper or blue paper? If they answer red, well, then they'll get stabbed with the blood splattering all over. But if they answer blue, then they'll either be choked to death or have their blood sucked out of their body, leaving them dead and blue in the face. And now the creature that's doing all this is this creepy looking entity. Yeah, it looks like they're wearing a mask with a red cloak, and then yeah, here's the 2 different toilet paper colors. You could choose whichever color, but then by choosing one, it'll lead to your
You have to say green.
death. Yet the best way to survive this yokai is by just not answering it at all, because both will lead to death. If you ever seen Squid Game, you know this guy right here with the 2 different colors, blue or red. It doesn't really matter which color you choose, because they'll both end up in you playing the games, aka you'll more than likely die playing the game. And so the best way to survive Squid Games is to just not play it at all and walk away from this choice. But now, what's your favorite Japanese creature? Let me know in the comments down below.
Let's be honest, from this video I would say the Akemento, I think. Umibozio, I'm not really a big fan of Umibozio, but yeah. Maybe Rin too. Kushisake Honna. I think that's pretty much it. I'm not sure. Wait, let me see. What was it already? Rokurokubi is not bad to be honest, but yeah, maybe this one. Yeah, she's scary, but not that scary like in picture. So okay, yes, bye.